Good afternoon. Thank to each of and every one of you for being with us today. I'm very pleased to welcome those that have been with us for a long time, as well as those who are new to the XENA World family. I'm honored for having been entrusted with the responsibility of hosting this weekly show. It's a true objective reflection of the objective of this foundation, where every family member is given opportunity. I'm here because of the foundation has faith in people like me, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Today, I shall be speaking on Bach flower remedies. Okay, very quick introduction. Dr. Bach was a well-known homeopath cum physician and general practitioner in the UK 70 years ago. He realized that he often had, say, 10 patients who came to him with the same ailment, and he gave them the same medicine, but only 6 got well, 4 did not respond to the medication. When he looked deeper, he realized that it is the personality and the emotional makeup of the person that makes the difference. And today, all modern research is proving that those who have a positive state of mind, who have a good family support environment, they are the ones who get well quickly. Those who are facing challenges at a personal level do not respond as well to treatment. He then left the field of homeopathy, etc., and sat down to study flowers to see what contribution flowers could make to the field of healing. He discovered that there are 38 flowers that map directly to 38 emotions in the human brain. And once again, today, all modern research is proving through active MRIs and other things that the brain is indeed broken into these centers. And when you trigger these centers, they trigger the healing process within the body. And that is a far better way to reach the healing power than through chemicals and drugs. Now, there are 3 dominant factors, among others, which affect us. The first is stress. This stress could be current, it could be personal, family, business, it could even be from childhood. But stress has a severe impact on us. The second is anger. Once again, this could be an anger carried forward from childhood, anger against parents, family, friends. It doesn't matter. When we are angry, it impacts us. And the third big emotion is fear. When there is fear in our minds and body, it affects everything. And today, as you can see with COVID and other things, the level of fear has really gone up. Now, these 3 states of mind, stress, anger, and fear, inevitably hit the stomach. That's the first area that you will notice a problem. So when people come to me and say, I have GERD, I have IBS, I have acidity, I have XYZ problem with my stomach, I know I will find the cause in these 3 broad categories. They may not admit it immediately, but sooner or later they will admit, yes, there is conflict in my family, or I am afraid of XYZ, or I am very stressed out at my work. Okay. Because there are 38 distinct remedies, it is possible to target these emotions very, very precisely. There are 8 different types of fear in the body. And unlike opioids and using allopathic medicines, we are able to target these particular types of fear very, very precisely. The results are very quick. Literally within a week, my latest case in the UK, extreme gastric discomfort running for many years. So much so that the person used to shy away from eating. Literally within 6 to 7 days, they have found a strong reduction in their body's reaction. They're able to enjoy eating food, and they realize that this problem was coming not because of some disease in the body, but because the stress that they were feeling in their personal lives, this was impacting their stomach. It was impacting their ability to fall asleep. It was impacting their ability to do their work. And the results would show up in the stomach. Sometimes they'll go to the lungs. Very often they will go to joints. So when people have arthritis, fibromyalgia, any of these pain-related symptoms, there are very clear causal links of those to anger, to rigidity of the mind. And when you deal with these, that pain goes away. And not only temporarily, like you would do with a painkiller, but it goes away permanently. Because Bach remedies actually change the way we choose to think. They don't act only as a temporary thing. So this is why I'm passionate. When 40 years ago, I was diagnosed with acute asthma, and every doctor has said, sorry, incurable. Take steroids and take these pills for the rest of your life. I refused to do that. I was lucky I met a homeopath, old time, who said, I'll fix the asthma, no issue. But you need to heal from within, which means certain emotional and mental patterns of behavior will have to change. And that is why it takes a little bit of time. It's not that you pop a pill and you get temporary relief. With
Audio.
in days, weeks, sometimes months, and sometimes it may take even a few months, especially when you're dealing with anger and you're dealing with fear. It takes a little while to remove traces of these emotions from our system. And once you do it, they don't usually come back. The healing is permanent. Okay. Now, Bach remedies today are available in every country. I personally am dealing with cases across the world. It doesn't matter if you're American or English or Indian or Thai or Japanese. Human emotions are the same by and large. The triggers may be different, but the patterns of our emotions as human beings are pretty much the same. So as Shakespeare's poem, if you prick me, should I not bleed? You know, we all are like this. If someone does something to us that hurts us, we tend to hold that hurt. We don't like to forgive. But every time we remember that injury, so I have a lovely saying which actually is very good in Hindi, but I'll translate. You know, if someone hits you with a stick on your head, they hit you only once. If you keep remembering that incident, you are hitting yourself on your head with their stick.
Yes.
So, letting go, forgiveness, growing up, moving on, these are key words in Bach. You must leave behind the triggers that caused you the illness. And as Dr. Bach said, when the emotions heal, the body will also heal. Yes, there are cases, certainly, where you are exposed to toxins, radioactivity, chemicals, various situations, which also cause illness. But in that situation, you will find others around you will also be suffering from the same illness. If you find that you are particularly individually suffering from a certain problem, correct, then you can be quite sure that it is your own emotions that are driving this particular problem. And when you release those emotions, you will get better. I deal with hundreds of people around the world, and I can guarantee that Bach remedies will heal you where traditional doctors would say this is not curable. I've seen too many cases of that. Now, I think my 10 minutes are over. Rajiv bhai?
No, 10 minutes is basically for one particular para. You have another 15 minutes, so please carry on.
Okay.
And I will request Bakshi Bhaiya and Aji Bhai to please mute because background noise is disturbing.
Okay, I thought this was only 10 minutes. So, what this man did was he went into the woods, he lived among the plants and the flowers, and he tested each one on himself. And he was able to identify clearly very distinct emotions in himself and flowers that actually directly impacted those emotions. So, for example, he identified three dominant types of fear. Fear where we do not know what the cause is. Some people are extremely sensitive and they are generally living in fear, if I can use that term. Then there is the fear that comes after a shock, like an accident. Okay, you bang up your car and then you're afraid to drive again. The third fear he identified was phobias, fear of rats, fear of flying, XYZ. People have fear of cats, for example, my neighbor upstairs. Okay. He also identified a fourth type of fear, that is fear for others, typically mothers who are afraid of their loved ones, children. And this is a fear that can actually go to quite an extreme, where the mother is constantly hassled because she's worried about the children. In if return, the children get hassled because the mother is always fussing over them. Don't do this, don't eat this, don't drink that, etc., etc. Fear is a very dysfunctional emotional. It stops us achieving, it stops us doing things that we are capable of doing because somewhere we are afraid of failing. Okay. I've recently written a book in which I've actually outlined 8 to 9 types of fear, not just four of them. Okay. So you can go deeper into this fear mechanism and you'll find it affects a lot of aspects of our life. And most times the impact of that is physically felt on the stomach. Okay? Anger is the other pervasive emotion. People may be angry about something from their childhood. They could be angry over what someone has done to them recently, or they could be in a bad marriage or a bad relationship. That is creating anger in them. Anger is actually a very, very corrosive emotion. And every time I come across certain diseases and I ask the person, are you very angry inside you? And they, yes, I'm angry because my father used to drink too much, or I'm angry because this happened in college. I'm angry with my spouse. I'm angry with my boss. Okay. And that anger is releasing chemicals in their body which are affecting their health. Okay. Typically, it's very difficult to fall asleep, and sleeping tablets don't help. If you're not able to fall asleep because in your mind you are angry at X, Y, or Z, you must release that anger so that you can naturally fall asleep. Okay. Now, the third area which is very prevalent today is stress. The stress can be because of a bad boss. It can be because you have bitten off more than you can chew. It could be business stress. It could be personal life stress. But when you are stressed out, correct, it literally affects every other aspect of your behavior. Okay? And so when one goes into treatment with Bach, one follows a certain structured method. Too many practitioners today do a 10-day course, get a certificate, and claim to become healers. It's not possible for someone who has not even reached the age of 30 to be out there, no life experience. They have not gone through what others have gone through, but they're trying to heal others. Most times they can't heal themselves, but it's easy money. So there are a lot of people who claim to be Bach professionals these days who really don't fully understand what they're doing, to be very honest. They'll read one or two books, refer to the books, prescribe mechanically, and then they feel, listen, Bach remedies don't work. There are other people who mix 6, 7 remedies because they tick off 6, 7 symptoms. They make a mixture and drink it through the day, and then they complain that they're not getting better. The thing is, you are sending signals to your brain to modify its behavior. If you send too many signals at one time, you will only end up confusing the brain. The correct technique is to identify key emotions that trouble you, deal with them. Bach remedies normally take 2 to 4 days, sometimes maximum a week to heal. If the problem is really chronic, then it may take up to a couple of weeks, but that's it. The body and mind respond very quickly. But you must target specific emotions, whether it is stress, fear, anger, self image, which is another big thing. I often get people tell me instinctively, especially women, I need to be fair. I have a blemish in my skin. And that is torturing them, right or wrong. But they see that blemish and they are extremely badly affected by it. This is very, very dominant, at least in India, where I remember a maid who came to work 3 days ago, and I gave her some rescue remedy. It's very generic. She was looking tired. Yes, sir, mujhe gora kar do. I want to be fair. I said, how can I turn you from a dark woman into a fair woman? Okay, that's not so easy to do. That's not an illness. But because you are so concerned about your image, your looks, there are remedies that deal with self image. They help you be at peace with how you look, how you feel. Correct? Now, as I said, there are 38 distinct remedies. And if you analyze very carefully, you will always find the correct remedy for that person. Not wise to simply look up a book, pick up 6, 7 symptoms, mix 6, 7 remedies, and expect that the person will get well. Very little in life works that way. You need to focus on individual, and also bear in mind, many emotions precede other emotions. And until you deal with those underlying emotions, what is called the root cause, whatever you do on the surface may not work. Fear is one of those, anger is one of those. If you don't deal with these emotions first, you run a very strong chance of other things not getting okay. Because these are dominant emotions that will keep pulling you back. Okay. So the practice of Bach remedies is actually easy in some ways because they are very safe. They have no side effects. They create no dependency. You cannot OD on Bach remedies. They do not pose any risk to your health. But they should, like any other technology or tool, they should be used with precision. My old teacher used to tell me, a sniper's rifle is more powerful than a machine gun. Don't just give 6, 7, 8 remedies at random and expect them to work. Analyze the person very carefully. Understand what are the underlying emotions, what are the foundational root causes of this person's problem, and deal with them till you eliminate these root causes. Then, very often, 8 and 10 other symptoms will just disappear because they were all being driven by this root emotion.
I think we are running out of time on this show. It was an
Yeah.
excellent Kickstarter show. And all of us attending today and all of us who will see the YouTube later on, I'm sure they are going to be benefited. And we are really looking forward to the coming weeks, your show. It was a lovely, wonderful, informative show. Thank
It
you
is.
so
It
much.
is
And
fantastic.
I've also
Fantastic,
covered
Mr.
some of
Hinz.
the broad, I've covered some of the broad subjects I wanted to. We'll continue next time.
Yeah,
It
sure.
is required in
Where I
today's
get most.
society. It's required in
Great.
today's society. It is very much relevant and very much
Oh, believe me,
appreciated.
sir, believe me. I meet people and they'll tell me on the surface, oh, I have a lovely life. I live here. I do this. I do that. Lovely, married to a great man. But then
Hmm.
2, 3 weeks later, the truth comes out. Actually,
Hmm.
I'm living alone. I'm feeling terrible. Correct?
Hmm.
I'm neglected. My children are neglected. My husband is only interested in his business. And
True.
gradually, you begin to realize that beneath the surface of people's, it's like they say, no, on Facebook, people will sit and praise their lovely spouse and husband, but
Hmm.
behind the scenes, they're actually fighting tooth and nail.
True.
So,
True.
public show is what we do, but what we feel inside us may not be the same thing.
Correct.
So that's why it
Yeah,
becomes
I
very
think I
important.
think we will run off the recording time. Ali bhai, you can.
Thank you, Mr. Ashok Hingorani, for a very insightful talk. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed attendees of the show for their presence and contribution to make this maiden recording session a great success. I extend my special gratitude to Mr. Hingorani for having taken time out from his busy schedule to grace the show. On behalf of Zana World Care Foundation, I extend a really hearty uh, thanks to our attendees who spared time on a weekday afternoon. Today, we had an opportunity to hear about Bach flower remedies, and this will surely encourage us for our future shows. Looking forward to an interesting show next week, same day, same time. Thank you.